Hello everyone, Doug Burson here, and today we're going to go over how to use the portal as well as our expectations this season for the organizer, the questionnaire, and how that's going to help us make this season more effective for you and try to make your life easier this year for tax season, because we know the last few years have been challenging at best, and we're doing everything we can to make life easier on your behalf. Okay, so here we are. You've got a email from us, and it's going to either say front desk like this one does or tax support. They're going to be working together to try to get these out to you in a timely manner, and they're going to give you access to two folders. One is tax return client and one is upload folder. And the tax return client is just that. That's where we're going to post copies of your tax return at the end of the process. So once your tax return is done, we're going to post a PDF copy there for you can get it right away, so you won't have to wait that extra few days to get through our processing. As soon as Cindy and I are done with it, we can put it right there for you, and that's going to let you review it a lot sooner before you even come in to sign. You'll be able to actually see the actual tax return. The upload folder is just that. That is a folder where you're going to be able to upload documents to us digitally, and it's very easy in this system. Now, I know for a lot of you, you're still going to prefer to bring paper in and drop it off, and that's fine, not a problem. But for a lot of you, if you can upload it digitally, it just makes your life easier, because we're all working so much anymore, it seems like, and it's hard to take a break just to get stuff over to us so we can do the taxes. This will allow you to do it right from the comfort of your home. Slide, drop it over there, and you're going to see how that works here in just a minute. So this is what you're going to be looking for over the next week or so. You're going to get this email. We're going to be going through them and turning all this on in the new portal system. And so I just want to show you guys what that's going to look like. And here's what it's going to look like. It's going to be front desk or tax support. And what you're going to do, you just go ahead and click into it and open it. And since I've never used it from the client side, I have to activate my account. So right now, we're going to do that. We're going to click here and activate our account. But you're going to see, it's going to say Citrix and share file. Now when you click in, there it is. So that's your name. It's already going to be there. Go ahead and say continue. And then you're going to set a password. And this password is your password. You're in control of it. It's not something that we set on your behalf. And it gives you right here what it wants. It wants an uppercase, a lowercase, a number, a special character. And it has to be at least 8 characters in length. No secrets there. Everything's pretty common that way anymore. And go ahead and save and sign in. You now have access to our portal system, and it's really that much simpler than our old one, and that's why we switched, because the other one, while it was robust, it was very clunky, hard, people struggled with it, and so we've gone this way. And I think you're going to like it a lot. You go into this folder, the upload folder, you're going to see we've already uploaded a file called Organizer. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the Organizer. And there it is. There's your Organizer with engagement letters. So it's going to be very important that you print these off and sign them and bring them in, or fax them back, or scan and upload them, however you want to do it, and get them back to us for preparing the tax return. But then there's also going to be this section down here called the questionnaire. And the questionnaire is very, very important, especially this year. The last couple of years, there's been so much going on with all the extra stimulus payments and child tax credits and et cetera, but I'm going to give you a couple secrets. One, the answer is normally no. If you know that, it seems like there's a lot here, but once you know that the answer is no, it makes it easier for you to go through this really quickly. Yeses are there to trigger to me that we need to ask you more questions potentially. So for instance, the very first one, did your marital status change? For most people, that's no. I don't have to ask you about that, but if you say yes, then I can contact you and say, okay, is there anything else we need to know? So everything is no. The yeses are there to trigger for us to ask more questions. It's going to be very, very important, especially down here on these EIP payments, that you have that letter. That letter should be coming in the mail any day if you haven't already got it. We will have to have those letters to prepare the tax return this year. Same thing with the one down here for the child tax credit. We have to have those letters. And we'll go over a little bit more, probably in a week. I'm gonna go over something, just some high level, not really tax planning per se, because the year is over, but just a rehash of things in the tax law that I want to make sure you're aware of. So when you bring your stuff up, we make sure we don't miss anything. And so we'll cover a lot more of that in detail. But this is all going to be here. And then I want to look at this questionnaire, or not questionnaire, this organizer. Now this organizer is what we call the organizer checklist. And what I want you to do is just to look at this quickly, make sure nothing has changed, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, things of that nature. But then it's also going to help you gather your documents. And so what it does is it takes your tax return from last year and organizes everything so that you know what you should have this year. So in my example here, Test Business, I got a W-2 from Test Business. So that means when you're getting your stuff together for us this year, you should have a W-2 from Test Business. Then you go on down to the next page. I've got the interest income section. So last year I had interest income from Bank of America and Commercial Bank of Oak Grove. So when you're gathering your documents, you should have a Bank of America and a Commercial Bank of Oak Grove. Going down, last year I had a statement from Edward Jones. So this year you should have a statement from Edward Jones. That's the purpose of this, is just to help you make sure you haven't forgotten anything. And once you have all these documents, most likely, unless something has changed, you have everything you need to submit your tax return so that we can prepare it. And so that's what this is. In the past, we've sent out the full organizer, and it can be overwhelming. And some of you felt like you were having to fill all that work out, and that was never the intention. The intention is just to use it as a tool to make sure you can gather all the documents. And the checklist, I think, summarizes that and makes it a lot easier and helps there. In this case, we had a rental house. So I should have rent, I should have insurance, mortgage interest. Last year I had repairs, taxes. So those are the items you should be looking for on your rental house if this was your organizer. We had a 1098T from the junior college last year, so I should have one again. You also see that there was a spelling error there. So if you see something like that, you may want to scratch that out. We'll be looking for those as well. But this was a sample I put together, and as we're reviewing it, we see there's a spelling error, which can happen. We also had real estate taxes that were paid through our mortgage at Wells Fargo. So I should have a Wells Fargo statement, personal property taxes, etc. So that's the purpose of the organizer checklist. Now, I do know some of you use the full organizer just like we do. And if that's something that you like and find handy, just let me know. I will be more than happy to send you the full organizer out, especially for those of you who have small business or rental properties. You find them very helpful, and that's completely understandable. I get that, and we'll be glad to provide it. But I wanted to go through this so that you understand this is just a checklist of items from last year to help you make getting together all your stuff easy. So you're not worried, oh, what else did I have? This will help you put that together. And so that's the purpose. Now, for a lot of you, you can just print this off and bring it in with your stuff. Some of you may want to sign the engagement letter and do the questionnaire digitally, and that's not a problem at all. We can do that now. Just shoot us an email, reply to the same person that you got this from and said, hey, I'd like to do the engagement letter and questionnaire electronically, and then they will shoot you over a follow-up email. Give them a few days because we're doing a lot of these right now, but they'll get back to you pretty quick and send that out, and then you can just check it right online and submit it back to us. So that is how that will work. And hopefully that helps make this clear for you. If you noticed back in the email section, you also received a second email from us that said your tax return folder has been shared with you as well. You don't need to do anything extra, because when you go into your portal and you click the folders, shared folders, you'll see they're both already there. That was just an email alert letting you know it was there. And our goal is that when you open this up, that we will have a copy of your 2020 tax return, if we did it, already in this folder for you. There's a lot of them to do, so we're working through these as fast as we can. But hopefully when you get this, the email saying that you've been activated, you'll be able to see that at that time. In my case, since this is a test client, we don't really have a 2020 tax return in there. But this is what you would see. You would see 2020, and then as soon as we complete the tax return for 2021, it would be right here. Okay, so you're in this folder in share file. Couple things I'd like to go through. One, I'm gonna go ahead and log out. Okay, so I recommend, one, that you go ahead and add a bookmark or add to favorites depending on which browser you have, so that you can always get back to it. Whatever name makes sense to you, go ahead and add that so you can always find it quickly. The other thing is, if you ever lose your password, you do the password reset right here. I actually can't reset the password for you because I don't know it. That is your password. And so you'll do a password reset right here, and then it'll walk you through the steps to do that. So go ahead and bookmark this page, and then you can sign in. At this point, there you are. So if you were to go to upload folders and you wanted to give us stuff, really, it's a pretty easy process. I'm trying to show this on one screen. Essentially, you can just grab a document and drop it. And when you do that, automatically it's going to go to us. So I can just grab it, bring it in, drop it. Automatically came to us. That's how easy this portal is, and that's why we've switched to it for you guys, because it's going to make working with this so much simpler, I feel, than the old portal. Like I said, the other one had some positives, had some really neat features, but really was just too hard for a lot to work with efficiently. So we've made this switch, and I think you're going to like it a lot. So that's how the portal works. Hopefully that's helpful. If any of you want to do the engagement letter and questionnaire digitally, let us know. Also, if we get the work brought into us on paper, what they're going to do, part of the initial process, if you haven't signed already, they're going to ship out these engagement letters and questionnaires to you, requesting that they be filled out and answered, because this year especially, we cannot do the tax return without having that questionnaire filled out. There's just too many chances for error. We need that information so that we can make sure that you're getting the best possible result, and we don't get any delays in processing your tax return, because the IRS is so far behind already. If the numbers don't match up, your return will get delayed, and then that's going to cause you problems down the road. So hopefully this has been helpful. I think you're going to like it a lot, and we look forward to a much more streamlined tax season this year.